Hi everyone, my name is Sue Hang, and today I'm going to do my scholarly person presentation. Before we get started, I want to give you an overview of what I'm going to cover today in my presentation. What is a scholarly person? If you guys wonder who it is, I'll get to that. My scholarly traits of a scholarly person, my everyday hero, my academic and professional plan, social and multicultural challenges that I'll face, and how my education affects me as an individual, and the two stories. So, back to the question. Some of you guys might ask, what is a scholarly person? According to educatescholars.com, a scholar is defined as an expert in one or more areas of the humanities, meaning, similar qualities that a scholar possesses are good thinking skills, research skills, and comprehensive when it comes to knowing different topics and subjects. So, my traits of a scholarly person: I am creative. I like to think outside of the box. I like to create new things, because in life here there's so many perspectives when it comes to dealing with the situation. So as you can see here in this brain, I believe that the brain is a very important organ in the human body. And so I'm tactful, meaning I'm sensitive, being able to engage in conversations that is meaningful and knowing that what I say might hurt or cause harm to them. So being able to be sensitive, it's a very good scholarly trait for me. Independent, I like to do things myself, and in the future, as far as my professional life, I would like to get work done efficiently and effectively. I'm trusting. I trust in my ability to do the work that I'm doing, and it's also good to trust in other people too. I'm a risk taker. I like to take risks. I like to initiate things, and I find that that's a really good characteristic trait to have. And lastly, I am accommodating. I like to do things without being asked, and I like to do the things that people ask me to do as part of accommodating. Next is my everyday hero. This is Alex Hines. He's the director of Winona State, the Inclusion Diversity Office here at Winona State. I've known this man for over 9 years, just about 10 years. And he was there for me when I got sentenced to prison, and he was here for me when I got out. He's a very vital part of my education, and I'll get back to that on the next slide. But he received the John Latch Award in 2014. The John Latch Award is somebody who contributed with social justice and around the community. So the community members voted for him, so he received that award, and it's really good as far as contributing his time and effort into the community. He served as a U.S. Air Force, and some of the traits that I love about him is that he's very dedicated. He's dedicated to do his job. He's positive. He's a very influential speaker, and the work that he does, he serves people who are underrepresented and who's not privileged, as privileged, underserved kids. And what I like most about him is that he keeps it real. He doesn't sugarcoat things. He just tells it like how it is, even if it hurts me or others. That hurt or that the feeling might cause other way of thinking, and he calls this the paradigm shift. He's very educated, he's resourceful, and he's very inclusive. That's what I love about him. He doesn't care what color you are. He's there for you. If you ask him, he will help you. So, my academic and professional plan. See, I wouldn't be here continuing my higher education without the help of Alex Hines. Because while I was incarcerated, I took a couple classes from St. Cloud State, and I just never went to it. So that accumulated with the GPA that I had before I got incarcerated, it was pretty low. It affected my GPA. I was on academic suspension, and because of my crime that I committed to, it seems like they didn't want, like, the faculty members didn't want me here, but then he defended me. So that's why I'm very thankful, and I will never forget that, because he helps me so I can stay and get my education. I'm an individualized studies major, and I want to become a self-enrichment education teacher, emphasis on youth development. And throughout my time at WSU, I love doing a lot of things as far as redefining masculinity as outside of class. I took in classes that really enhance who I am and what I can give to others. And that's something that I enjoy doing. So I will be attaining my bachelor's degree sometime in December, hopefully. And then from there, go on to undergraduate school, go to graduate school and get my master's degree. So I want to facilitate underserved and underrepresented students of like diverse population. And as far as as far as my professional plan, that's what I want to do. So, regarding social and multicultural challenges, some of the challenges that I will have, or I will face in the future is that because I have a felony conviction, maybe not a lot of places want to hire me. So that's why education is very vital for me. Because with the education that I have, I could defend myself, and that people can overlook my criminal conviction. I will face with racial microaggression, such as, because I'm Asian, they're gonna be like, where you're from? If I would say I'm from Winona, I'm like, no, where you're really from? So that's something that I'll continually face throughout my career and in life as a man of color. Because oftentimes when media portray us or men of color by ethnicity, you know, they see us as maybe dangerous or maybe a threat to whatever it is that's happening. So not only the racial microaggression, but the stereotype threat. So yeah, and not only that, but I believe that because I'm not an American citizen, and to add with that, to emphasize more on the man of color, because I'm a man of color, you know, if I'm not white, I'm not going to be privileged. So that's always going to be something that's going to, you know, affect me in my professional life or as a human being living in the United States. So how my education affects me. Socially, I will be respected by others, especially close family members, because I have a big family. I have 13 brothers and 6 sisters, and I'll be the second one to be able to attain my bachelor's degree if I get there. It will help me to become open-minded, have constructive conversations with other people as far as academic and in life. As far as family, I thank God for my family. My mom and dad supporting me, my family supporting me, my friends supporting me throughout my higher education, even when I integrated back into the community from prison. Financially, with the education that I'll get, there's more job opportunity, better pay. That means I can consume more and help the economy. And who wouldn't want to do that? But as far as financially, you know, I love doing what I do, and I like to educate. And I think sometimes when people come to college, you know, I used to think that, you know, coming to college, get a degree, get a good job, and, you know, just become successful. But you have to define what is successful. Successful could be that, you know, you're thinking positive today, or that you're creating other networks with people. And it doesn't really have to mean money. So that's something that I just want to talk about. But as far as professionally, you know, I'll be knowledgeable in other areas. As far as continuing my education, the courses that I took here at WSU, and the relationships that I built in the network that I have, you know, just so others can open doors for me, so I can open doors for others. That's how I see it. So the two stories that I want to share with you today is a story from Elena on page 9 from the textbook. It's called "At the Worst Moment of My Life," and how I can relate to this story. Elena was studying in Italy, and she got into a car accident where she nearly died. While she was laying in the hospital bed, she was in there with a Bosnian soldier that spoke English. And at that time, she's the only person that spoke English. Now, this Bosnian dude or guy spoke English, they conversated, but she reflects back like she's nearly died. But then this guy, this Bosnian soldier, he was wounded. And then now she gets to compare her own situation with his, and which this story is very good, because that's the level of empathy. When you can feel for other people, and when you can take that in, it's very educational. So it opened up her eyes to see her career path. So she started working for for the Red Cross, created fundraising, and working with refugees. So relating back to my real life experience, you know, I was at rock bottom when I was incarcerated. I didn't think that there's any hope left for me, because as far as you know, for statistics, when you are a felon and you are a man of color, nobody wants to deal with you anymore. But then until I start to associate with these people in there who will never ever get out, I associate with them, older men, younger men, they have wives, they have kids at home, which they were never going to come out and enjoy a decent dinner with their family. So this story touches my heart because of the experiences that I've gone through. So the unique thing is that because I can empathize and I can compare my own situation with them, because I have an outdate, it led me to what I want to do in the future as far as youth development. And the second story is this guy named L. It's called "How Al Levine Benefited from Bad Advices." It's on page 31. So Al Levine, his parents always stressed to him, planted a seed ever since he was young, that they wanted him to be a lawyer. He didn't know what a lawyer is or what a lawyer does, but then one of the questions that really got him the most was that, what do you want to be when you grow up? He wanted to be a star running back for the LSU. And then it never happened. After he graduated from college, he just bounced back and forth from job to job. He didn't really like what he was doing, you know. So he finally went back to school, and then talk to networking with other people who knows about what he's gonna do, what they would like him to do by seeing his resume. So when they saw his resume, this lady told him, hey, you could be a career counselor. And he ended up being a career counselor. Through all the bad advices that he had, he landed a job that he at least enjoyed doing. So this story, I can relate to this story. It's like when I was growing up, my family, they took me here and my siblings here so we could get an education and we could live the American dream. But that's not what I wanted to do. Growing up as a kid, I wanted to be, I grew up in an environment where there's like I was surrounded by negative people and people who didn't really have an education. So I wanted to be, a ruthless thug, a gangster, at the age of 5 and 6 there. So in comparison with this story, I was neither that. Because my experience through the prison system and how I see other people with a heart of love, they really shape and mold me for who I am today and the people I associate with. So in conclusion, I've told you guys what is some traits of a scholarly person, and some trait of myself as a scholarly person, my everyday hero, my academic and professional plan, social multicultural challenges that I'll face, and how education affects me personally. And I've discussed the 2 stories that I enjoy reading from the textbook. Thank you.
Now we have to edit that.
Yep.